Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, Dr. Vivian E. Moore. Hope everyone is having a great weekend, and I hope you had a great week too. I'm not going to hold you for too long today. The title of today's show is Charge Me Up, and the topic is the power of positive energy. And my positive thoughts is being put to the test right now. There is some type of birthday party or something that's going on across the street from me, and the music is like super duper loud. So I don't know if you can actually hear the bass while I'm talking, but I'm going to try to get through this with as much positive thoughts and as much positive energy as I can muster, so my show doesn't seem like I'm a hypocrite. All right, so let's get to today's show, shall we? So first of all, we may want to know, what is energy? Well, the dictionary defines it as power derived from using physical or chemical resources to provide light and heat or to work machines. Okay, so that's the textbook definition that we're all familiar with. But as it relates to humans, it is the strength and vitality required for sustained physical or mental activity. All right. So now that we understand that is fuel and a power source for whatever it connects, human or machine, positivity helps us to understand the science behind mind over matter. You know, some people may view this technique as psychological babble, but it works. You know, you try mind over matter like I'm doing today. I'm doing mind over matter. You know, if I don't mind, then it don't matter. and I know that that's not the true, definition behind that. But still, that's what I'm exercising at this moment. All right, so don't knock it until you try it. You know, I'm not into gurus or mental yoga, if there is such a thing, because I don't know. It may be something new that I just, created today. I don't know. Because positive energy has nothing to do with either. But what it is, it's a way to combat evil, if you will. All right? Just think outside of the box for a moment. And I'm just going to use myself as an illustration. All right? So whenever I leave my house, I feel as though I must wear a cloak. And if you don't know what that is, if you into superheroes and things like that, it's that drape that a lot of superheroes wear around their necks and that fans out whenever they fly or whatever. That's a cloak, all right? So anyway, I feel as though that I must wear a cloak to protect me from whatever lurks outside. And I know that sounds silly, but it's true. So here's a truth moment, all right? So you guys know that I attend church on Sundays. I always, that's what I leave you with every time I end the show. I always make sure that I mention that because that's important to me. All right. So, but anyway, I do attend church on Sundays, and church is like my sanctuary. The building, and then when it works like that, it's my sanctuary when I'm away from home. But when I walk through those doors, anything negative, it just falls away. I leave all of that outside. And, and that's how I reconcile positivity. It's like once I walk through those doors, it's like I am just engulfed in positivity, in love. I can feel that spirit, it surrounds me. And so that's why it's my sanctuary, because I can go there and I know that I am peaceful. That's that whole energy experience is a peaceful one. So that's how I know that when you put on that cloak, and the Bible talks about it, it tells us to put on the full armor of God. That is our protection against evil things, okay, against negative energy. We must put that on to protect us, and put it on cover our heads, and anything that is vulnerable to negativity, we need to make sure that we cover it up, okay? In a world filled with all sorts of things, positive energy is a protective layer that shields and protects, and it prevents outside elements from attaching to you. Like pollen. In the summertime, in the springtime, when the trees and the flowers and things like that are in bloom, you go outside and you see that yellow dusting everywhere. It's on the streets, it's on cars, it's everywhere. So that's what negative energy is like. It just falls all over you. It gets all over you, just like pollen does. All right. So negative energy it's just another outside element, and and the world seems possessed by it. And it infiltrates any chink in your armor to find a way inside to compromise anything constructive. You just watch and see. If you are around negative people, what they do is rob you of your positivity. They rob you of anything that is constructive. It damages you. It infiltrates your mind, and it poisons it. Basically, that's what it does. It poisons your mind, your spirit, just everything around it. It just poisons. Okay. It robs us of our peace of mind and tranquility. But let's focus on the positive side, shall we? Because we're talking about positive energy, not negative energy. But I know it's hard to talk about positive without talking about negative, because they go together. They do. You can't think about positive without thinking about negative. And that's with anything. With a battery, you've got a negative post and a positive post. The car won't work unless both of those elements are together. So that's just how it is, in this world. But you have to protect yourself against the negativity. All right. So let's talk about some of the positive benefits of positive energy. All right. So the number one thing that positive energy does is it makes us feel fantastic when we are fully energized. And you know what I mean? You get up some mornings when you had a great night's sleep, meaning you had more than 5 hours of sleep, and you wake up and you feel charged and you feel ready, and you're just ready for whatever the world brings you for that day. And so you feel good, which makes you think you look good, even if you don't. But still, that's what positive energy does for you. It invigorates you. All right. So the next thing is that it allows us to identify negative sources of negative energy. So if you've got your cloak of positivity on, then that's what it's going to do. It's going to repel anything negative. It's going to just get it out of the way, that you see it for what it is, and that you keep on moving. All right, because that's what we need to do. We got to keep on moving. All right, so pay close attention to the signs of people who reek of bad juju. All right, because nothing good will come of that. Trust me. All right. So positive energy, it, like I said, it invigorates and it infuses your thoughts with sustainable ideas that help you think better and become more creative. And that's what you want. You want those creative juices to flow. And sometimes they can't flow if everything is all clogged up with all that negative energy. You got to expel the negative energy and breathe in the positive. All right. So overall, it will improve your ability to problem solve. All right. No lie. That's the truth. All right. So from the physical aspect, it can decrease stress. I bet you didn't know that, did you? And it can help control emotions and how we cope with stressful situations. Positivity can improve your immune system. It can reduce hypertension and heart-related issues. And that's the truth. It can. Okay, it can. So whenever you go to the doctor's office, whenever you have your physical, I have my physical every year. All right, so I have like 3 physicals. Well, I guess you could call them physicals. Anyway, one is like the physical from my GP, And then, of course, I'm a woman, so that means I have to have my woman parts checked out, upper and lower. And so that's like 3 physicals. So, but anyway, when I go to the GP, and that's general practitioner, okay, just in case you didn't know what that was. But anyway, what I do is before they take my blood pressure, I don't suffer with hypertension. Thank you, Lord. But still, whenever I go there, you know how keyed up you get before you go to any doctor's visit, whether you're completely healthy, sick, or whatever. You just never know what's going on inside of your body. So you're always thinking the worst, even if that's not true. But still, whenever I go and before they take my blood pressure, I always sit there. Make sure that I do not have my legs crossed or my ankles crossed or anything like that. I make sure my body is completely relaxed. And I'm breathing in and out, just getting my heart rate down, doing everything that I need to do to reduce the stress in my body. So when they put that blood pressure cuff on, and it squeezes your arm like it's just going to make it explode. But still, when they get the reading, it's a good reading because, I have make sure that, that whatever stress was in me, I have expelled that stress and breathe in positivity. So when my blood pressure is red, that means that it's going to show that that everything is normal, everything is working as it is supposed to. So that's one of the benefits of having positive influence in your life and having positive energy flowing throughout your body, mentally and physically. It's important, guys. And I'm not just saying this as some type of psychological babble, as I said before, because that's not what it is. It's scientifically proven. All right, so I can back it up with science. All right, so and I mean, it sounds like a winner, right? You can't go wrong with that. Positive thinking is good unless you just are the most negative person in the world, and positivity is just something that you don't allow in your life. All right, so. I know a lot of negative people and they don't realize that they're, negative, but I always try to influence them, in the most positive way possible. One of my coworkers used to tell me, she was like, "You're good for me because you're the most optimistic person I know." And, and it's not something that I work at being, it's just something that's just my personality. I'd rather be positive than negative about any situation, because where does negativity get you? Absolutely nowhere. But when you're positive, you think positive thoughts, you gain a whole lot more with being positive than negative. All right. So, and why not when the world is depressing enough? So, why add to that? All right. So the takeaway for today is if you're feeling low on energy, why not recharge with a bit of positivity? Because a little goes a long way until the next charge. All right, folks. So that is the show for today. I got through it, even with the noise in the background. They did take it down an octave, thank God. And I hope that it didn't record too much of it. But anyway, I'm giving you a heads up about it. So when you hear that boom, 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 you know exactly what that is. All right. So before I let you go, I want to make sure that I give you these URLs because I want you to stay tuned in to Book Chat to listen to it. Each and every Saturday at 6, I work hard and, bringing you topics that, or I hope that are helpful, and so I give it great thought and put a lot of energy into it, a lot of positive energy into it. And so I hope that you benefited from today's show. So anyway, the first URL is, of course, Spreaker, and that is at https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian E. Moore. You can follow me across all social media, which includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we won't mention TikTok. Oh, I mentioned TikTok. All right, so TikTok. All right, and you can check out my blog, which is at https://vivianemore.blogspot.com. And if you missed today's live show, you can always listen to the recorded episodes, each and every one, on Spreaker, first and foremost. And, of course, anywhere podcasts or available wherever you listen to your podcast. But I always try to throw out a few hints to help you find the show, which is at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, YouTube, SoundCloud, JioSaven, iTunes, Audible.com, Verbal, Luminary, and of course Amazon. So those are all the places, plus many, many more where you can find Book Chat with Author Vivian Moore and listen to the show. And as I said earlier, tomorrow is worship day. I hope you are planning to go to worship somewhere. Or, visit a church. We have visitors, seem like on a regular basis, and I'm glad for that because, sometimes you want and you need, other people to come and visit the church, and, maybe they don't have a church home, or maybe they don't go on a regular basis and they're trying to find a new church home, or they're coming to support, old members or whatever the case may be. But so, if you're one of those people, please, find a church to go to tomorrow so you can listen to a sermon, or if you're still, staying at home because of COVID. And I know that it's not like it was, but, it's still out there. So you still want to be careful and not get sick from it or make anyone else sick. And, invite your neighbors and your friends and please, let children come to church. Even if your church doesn't have children's church, most kids, if they come on a regular basis, they're used to sitting in the sanctuary with the adults listening to the message, and they need to listen. They need to hear the message because it's important for everyone to hear it. All right, and be sure to tell those around you how you feel about them, the ones that you care about the most, because tomorrow's not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say it. So on that note, I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.